I'm Doug Oster from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Welcome to Digging with Doug. Today we're at one of my favorite places. This is Chapon's greenhouse in Baldwin. I'm here with Matt Hirsch, who is the greenhouse manager and grower. Matt, I've been coming here for many years, and You've been helping me out. And today we're going to look at annuals. Let's say I'm a first-time gardener. I'm coming here. I'm completely overwhelmed with all this color and everything. I come to you. What are you telling people?
Usually the first thing I'll start with is asking you a few questions. Are you planting in the ground? Or are you planting in containers? Is this going to be for the sun? Is it going to be for the shade? Just to get a feel for what kind of things you're working with. Yeah, a lot of times I'll try to ask if there is anything they like, if there's any kind of color schemes they're trying to stick with. At least that'll give me an idea of what kind of plants to recommend.
And so when people are coming in looking for plants, and I haven't seen a bad one in here yet, what should you look for as far as a plant in general?
Yeah, obviously, just a nice, not drooping, no obvious diseases or insects. They don't necessarily have to have flowers. I usually do like to see some buds on them.
And let's talk about some things that are for sun, favorite plants for sun.
Geraniums would be one for sure. Petunias, marigolds, million bells, it's a type of trailing petunia. Dahlias.
And how about things off the beaten path? Because there's a lot of plants here that I'm not that familiar with that are pretty cool.
The Angelonia is one I like. Sometimes they refer to it as summer snapdragon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one for giving you a little bit of height. Loves the heat, loves the sun. The million bells have been around a while, but they're just starting to gain some popularity as trailing plants.
And how about shade plants?
There's the obvious, everybody always goes for the impatiens. You can also use coleus for just the colorful foliage. Begonias, terenias.
There's the one I want to talk about. Now that's one that's a little bit more uncommon. Shade lover, what else do we know?
Shade lover, sometimes it goes by the name wishbone plant or wishbone flower. Usually comes in shades of blues, burgundies. There's a new yellow this year. Just a low mounded plant, 10 inches tall, 10 inches wide.
Top 3 questions you get from customers.
Well, some of the most common ones are, what kind of soil do I use? If I'm planting in a pot or I'm planting in the ground. What do I feed these plants with? How often do I water and when do I water?
Give me the top 3 answers.
Morning, as far as watering, morning watering is always best. We usually tell people check it first thing in the morning. If it's hanging baskets, water them very heavy every morning. We usually suggest feeding once a week with a water-soluble fertilizer.
So if we're planting in a container, there's one mix, and if you're planting in the ground, there's something different?
Correct. If you're planting in a container, we always recommend something called Gardener's Gold. It's a potting soil that has some organic matter. If you're planting in the ground, we usually recommend a compost called Bumper Crop. It's a mix of peat moss and different composted materials. When you're feeding the plants, we always recommend something water soluble. The one we like is called Bud and Bloom. We use that at the greenhouse. It's a high phosphorus. It keeps everything blooming real nice. It'll also put fruit on your vegetable plants like tomatoes and peppers.
I always tell people, if you're going to be out buying plants, go to a good family-run nursery, and you want to hear from them. You want their questions.
We love questions.
Right.
It makes our day go faster. We love to hear what you're looking for. If you don't see something, ask us. If you have questions, we love that. We love questions, absolutely.
I see that you can buy a plant in a 4-inch pot, a 6-inch pot, in flats. What's the difference there as far as, and what do you tell people when they're looking?
A lot of times it's just how long do you want to wait. I can buy an impatient in the little cell packs and plant my container. It might look a little thin at the beginning, but the gardeners know it's going to grow fast. Some people, maybe they're having a party next week and they want it looking great right now, so they may just plug in some 6-inch pots or pull hanging baskets out of the basket to make it look good right now.
Sometimes you need the instant garden.
Exactly.
All right, Matt, thanks so much
You're welcome, Doug.
for your time. We got to look around a little bit, though, and see some of the interesting flowers here.
Absolutely.
Next week, we're going to be talking about tomatoes growing upside down. And don't forget, if you've got a garden question for me, log on to www.post-gazette.com/homes, and I'd love to talk to you there. And if you've got an idea for Digging with Doug, log on there. We can talk. Now, Matt, let's go look at some flowers. So tell me about this plant here.
This is a carnivorous plant. This actually eats insects. It's called a pitcher plant.
Safe with children, though. If they fall in there, they won't get eaten.
Yes.
They will get eaten?
That might be a good thing.